Some otters accidentally flipped the switch of a robot. When the robot powered on, the otters saw this huge, unfamiliar thing and scurried off in all directions. It was Razum, a service-type robot created by humans. She started pitching her services to the otters. All of a sudden, a massive wave came crashing in. Razum climbed up the cliff and found herself in a forest. She entered the forest to promote her services, but the forest animals regarded Razum, this steel monster, as an enemy. No matter how hard Razum tried to show her friendliness, the animals remained on guard and hostile. Razum figured there were no animals here that needed her, so she activated the program to head back to the factory. Right then, it started pouring. Just as the transmitter was about to establish a connection, Razum got struck by lightning. She crashed under a tree and launched the auto repair program. When she woke up again, she found that a bunch of raccoons had taken her parts apart. Razum grabbed her parts back and resumed the return program. The light from the transmitter on her head caught the raccoon's eye, and one of them snatched it. Razum chased after it, and the raccoon chucked the transmitter into a cave. She picked it up, but then a bear came out. The bear swatted Razum onto a rock. Razum fled in a hurry and accidentally fell into a bird's nest, squishing a gray goose. She noticed there was an intact egg in the nest. While Razum was trying to figure out what the egg was, a little gosling hatched. The gosling thought Razum was its mom. Razum felt a warm feeling, but in her program, this was just another task accomplished. She then tried to continue the return journey, but the transmitter had no signal, so Razum had to look for a spot with reception. The gosling stuck close to her, just as the signal was about to go through. The gosling jumped onto her head and pecked the transmitter, cracking it. Just then, a possum mom was out for a stroll with her babies on her back. Razum quietly placed the gosling on the possum's back. The possum babies accused this strange newcomer, but Razum was dead. Set on getting back to the factory, the possum mom gave Razum a task: take care of the gosling. Because of her preset program, Razum accepted this unexpected job. The possum mom told Razum to teach the gosling to eat, swim, and fly before autumn. However, Razum's built-in program had no idea how to teach a gosling these things, so Razum had to wing it. She tried feeding the gosling a pin of cone bigger than it, plopped it in the water, and even threw it into the air with the transmitter. Fink, a fox watching nearby, was shocked. Fink decided to help Razum. With Fink's help, the gosling got fed. Razum built a shelter and named the gosling Brightbill. As days went by, Brightbill grew up. It was time to teach him to swim. Since Razum's program didn't have instructions on how geese swim, she taught him using human-like methods. Luckily, he actually learned to swim. Then he met a group of geese. But the geese were mean to Brightbill. They pushed him into the water, and he got chased by a crocodile. Razum broke one of her legs while rescuing him. The geese also blamed Razum for destroying the nest and causing Brightbill's real mom to die. Brightbill was mad, thinking Razum wasn't telling him the truth, stopping him from growing up like a normal goose. He snapped, "You're not my mom." Razum hung her head in shame, and Brightbill left home. Razum found another robot that had landed here. She tried to fix it to figure out how to complete her task. The other robot thought Razum, who changed her own program, was defective and should go back to the factory before its battery died. It gave Razum its signal transmitter. Razum was thinking about whether to leave when Fink found her and told her winter was coming and she needed to teach Brightbill to fly. They found Brightbill, but he didn't want to talk to Razum, but Razum stopped him, saying it was for his own good to get through winter. After some convincing, Brightbill agreed. Finally, with the help of an eagle, Brightbill learned to fly and joined the geese migrating south. Razum saw Brightbill off, watching him leave from the cliff. Winter was near, and Razum thought it was time for her to go too. But at the moment the transmitter signal connected, she had second thoughts. She felt she needed to know if Brightbill made it okay. Fink told her this winter was going to be super cold and they needed to help the animals. Razum saved the animals on the verge of freezing to death and took them to the wooden house. They made it through winter safely. The next spring, Razum woke up with moss growing on her. She saw the geese flying back and located Brightbill through scanning. Seeing he was doing well, she didn't bother him. One night, Razum was alone in the forest. Turns out, that 1-second signal she sent in winter was picked up by the factory. They sent a robot team to retrieve Razum, planning to extract her memories and turn her back into an emotionless, program-following robot. When the animals heard this, they came to protect Razum. A fierce battle broke out between them and the robot team. At a crucial moment, Brightbill flew back and fought beside Razum. When the robot army questioned Razum's belonging here, the animals shouted together, "This is your home." Razum shouted back, "I'm the wild robot." Finally, with everyone's joint efforts, they managed to drive the robot team away, but the forest was burned down by the explosion from the robot's self-destruction. After this, Razum knew the safety was just temporary. The factory would send more robots to take her away. She didn't want to see the forest destroyed again. So Razum and the animals rebuilt the shelter. When the forest was restored, Razum activated the signal transmitter and was taken back to the factory. In the end, Razum was fixed up and now works on a farm. Just then, the geese flew by and Brightbill came to her side.